Okay, good afternoon, everybody. How's it going? Welcome to my stream. This is number 17 already. Time flies when you're having fun, they say. But yeah, nice to see you all. I hope you are all doing well. Welcome to my stream. If it's very late for you, thank you for being here. And yes, time flies. I hope you're all doing well. I don't know if any of you experienced a long weekend where you are, if you're living in Canada somewhere. But yeah, we just had a long weekend and it was great. So today is my first day back, starting the week on Tuesday. Thanks, Gertie. Sometimes I like a pop of color. But how are you guys doing? Tell me how you're doing. How was your weekend? What did you do on the weekend? I was telling Gertie my weekend was very relaxing, very chill, we say. I stayed around the city, did a hike, relaxed on the beach a little bit, but yes, didn't do too much because I wanted to just relax. So Khaled, you don't see my notes from last lesson. They were posted with the last session, but I can post them again. It's not a big deal. But definitely, if you go back to the last chat, the last stream, and if you went to the end of the lesson, you should see it. But let me get it for you, and I will put it on the chat. All right, no problem. So, just a second. Give me one moment and I'll do that. Anyone with the link? One moment. Copy. Paste. There you go, Khaled. Just for you. I don't usually do that, so I'll do it that one time. But every stream I am always good to remember putting the document there. So all good. No problem. No problem. So your weekend was boring. Well, that's okay. Hi, Jacqueline. Nice to see you. Wafa Wafa. Hello. It's been a few weeks maybe since I've seen you in the chat. It's midnight in Europe. Okay. Very late. Yeah. Okay. Well, I will change our screen here. We're going to get started. Okay, we've got a good hour to spend together as always, and we're kind of going off of the last week's stream, continuing talking about gerunds, but this time adding in the infinitive. Okay, and we're going to come up with a lot of examples together as always. Please feel free to ask questions and participate in the chat, and yeah, make some examples for us, and I'm happy to make any corrections that I may need to make. Okay, so yes, let's begin. And we are talking about verb patterns number 2 in our Smrt curriculum. Okay, let me make it a little bigger here. Oops. I think that's as big as it will go. Good. All right, let's get started. No time to lose. So look at this sentence here. Let's stop to get some gas. All right, so today we're going to talk about common verbs that are followed by the infinitive, and then we're going to talk about common verbs that can be followed by either the infinitive or the gerund with no change in meaning. But then we're also going to study, I think it's 4 different verbs where if you use the verb with an infinitive, it's one meaning. If you use the verb with a gerund, it's a different meaning. Okay, so we're going to go over some of the differences. All right. So in this case, we're using the verb stop with our infinitive. Okay, and that means that we want to stop one action, maybe in this case driving, okay, to start another action, in this case to get some gas. Okay, so specific meaning. If we said let's stop getting gas, totally different meaning, and we'll talk about that in more detail. So I'm sure you have, or many of you, maybe not all of you, but many of you, I'm sure, have heard of the verb pattern, the infinitive, okay? It is when we use to and a base verb together. Okay, so to is with the verb. It's not a preposition. It is connected with the verb, the base verb, okay? Infinitives, they are not verbs. They can be used as different things. We can use them as nouns. We can use them as adjectives. We can use them as adverbs. But in this level, in this lesson, we are going to only focus on using them as verbs, okay? We're using them, sorry, erase that. We're using them as nouns, my mistake, not verbs. We are using the infinitive as a noun in a sentence, okay? Just like gerunds, we talked about gerunds last week going in 3 different places in the sentence, right? We said gerund as subject. We talked about gerund as object of verb 1. And we talked about gerund as object of preposition. So in this case, we can use infinitive in the subject position, like the Shakespeare quote, you know, to be or not to be. That is the question. We can say to wake up early is a difficult task for many people. But when we're speaking, it's much more common to use gerund in the subject position, okay? Infinitive in subject position, it does have more of a formal kind of feeling to it. And we cannot put infinitive after preposition. So today we are going to mainly focus here on infinitive after verb 1, okay? So, oh, Gertie, I know there are different hurricanes happening in the world right now. I'm not sure where you are in the world, but I'm sorry to hear you had a stressful weekend. That's scary for sure. I will pray for you guys, definitely. I hope it doesn't get any worse. Okay, so going into some common verbs followed by the infinitive. Here are some examples. She has to go home soon. Okay, we have our verb have and infinitive to go. We often use has to with a base verb. This is for obligation, right? Like I have to do my laundry. I have to go to the library. We have to leave on time. Okay, so it's a lot of kind of like the modal verb must to signify obligation. Okay. The verb need followed by infinitive. I don't need to talk to him right now. Okay. And would like is also followed by infinitive. Okay, not gerund. What would you like to do? All right. So here is a big long list of very commonly used verbs with infinitive. Okay, so I have put these verbs on my document and I want to come up with some examples with you guys. So I'm going to go to my document. Okay. I will share this with you at the end of class, don't worry. And we'll begin. So this is just a quick review. Gerund, verb ing, right? Words that function as nouns in a sentence. And negative gerund, not verb ing. Okay. We have infinitive, to, and a base verb. Negative infinitive, not, to, and the base verb. Okay. Oh, Gertie, you're in the Bahamas. Oh, yes, that looks very terrifying. I've seen the news footage of that storm. My goodness. Oh, my goodness. Yes, very, very, very strong storm, hey? I really hope you and all of your loved ones are safe. My gosh. Okay, so let's see, Michaeli. Not necessarily, Michaeli. It's hard to give you a concrete answer on that question because It really depends on context and stuff like that. But I wouldn't say that that's absolutely necessary to use infinitive instead of a gerund in an academic text. If you're talking about in the subject position, it really depends. It depends on the context of everything, okay? Okay, so let's go ahead and do some examples, okay? So here's the list that we have on Smrt. We're not going to do all of them, but we'll do some of them. So can anyone think of an example sentence using agree as your verb 1 followed by an infinitive? Any tense is fine, just making sure you use the verb agree and an infinitive. Okay, so I'll wait to see a few examples in the chat. Okay, so think about some examples and let me know. And Hussam, you're correct with that. Yeah, definitely. Infinitives are an example of non-finite verbs. That's correct. Yeah, good comment. Thank you. Okay, so here we have good 2 sentences here. Lolly says, I agree to do that for you. I agree to do that for you. Good. And then the next one, past, yesterday, I agreed to go to, we just need the cinema. Good. We've got 2 good sentences. Let's continue. We'll keep the ball rolling here. If you guys, you can look at the list too. If anyone wants to choose one of the verbs and make a sentence, that's fine. Any of the verbs here that you can see, if you want to go ahead and jump ahead on the list, that's totally fine. Okay. Good. So with Lolly's examples and Emmy's examples, it's fine to say this. But generally, if we're agreeing to do something, we usually use the modal will. For example, I will do that for you, or I will come with you tomorrow. It's definitely a little more common to use will. Your sentences are fine. They're just, I guess they're more formal than using will. Gertie, we agree to watch Julia's stream every single week. Nice. Yes. Just know the before Julia's. If you removed Julia's, you could use the, but not necessary in your sentence. That's good. Good, Erin. My mother always asks me to behave well. Good sentence. Good, and I see another one. I asked him to come. That's great. That's actually jumping ahead. Next week, we're going to talk about adding direct objects before the infinitive, which we just did here. I asked him to come. But that's a good sentence. Yeah. Good. So, Presmek, I have decided to choose Smrt Channel to improve my English. Good, good. So this would be your verb 1 here. Good job with the present perfect. I have decided to choose. We would say the Smrt English, channel to improve, another infinitive, my English. Good, great choice. I hope it helps you for sure. And Raphael, you said, I decided to stay home this morning. Good sentence. Good sentence. Abo, just using your example here, you have to make sure you change your main verb to the past tense, okay? I asked, and you would need an object here, or no, you don't need it. Sorry, you're changing. He asked to give information about the school. Okay, good, good. Michaeli, I asked him to Google his grammar doubts. Good. Lolly, I choose to go to the cinema instead of good. So I think you need the past tense here. I chose to go to the cinema instead of a restaurant. Don't forget your article, a restaurant. Good. Emmy, she failed on her exam. That's a good sentence, but we're not using an infinitive. So you could say she failed to finish her exam, for example. Then to finish is your infinitive. Okay. And expect, I see from Maya, I didn't expect her, an object, good, to talk that way. Good. Awesome. So M. Vieira, I have just chosen her to represent me at the motorcycle fair event. Good sentence. Good sentence. Jacqueline, I like your sentence. I choose to be happy and never give up. Awesome. Okay. Okay. Raphael, I hope to see you at university. Good. 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 All right, guys, how about these verbs? Can we do a few more? I hope to win the race. Good sentence, Gertie. Gertie, I decided, don't forget D, E-D. I decided to improve my English skills. Oh, okay. So I'll put your sentence here. I decided to improve my, you would say, English listening skills at the end there with Netflix. Good. I have to study more with Julia to improve my grammar. Nice. Thank you, Lolly. I hope I help. I hope I do. I have to study more with Julia to improve my grammar. Khaled, I always choose the best food to give my parents. Good. Yeah, you can have an object before the infinitive. Yes, that's fine. And that's very nice of you. Jacqueline, I expect to enhance all the time. That's good. I think you need to add an object after enhance. Whoops. I expect to enhance my, spelling. For example, I expect to enhance my life all the time. Yeah, I expect to enhance my life all the time. M. Vieira, I expect the whole world to be peaceful one day. Okay, that's good. I expect the whole world, having an object is fine, to be peaceful one day. Good, that would be awesome, wouldn't it? Fingers crossed. Okay, let's see, more examples. Maya, I have some news to say. Yeah, sometimes people say, instead of to say, we would say, I have some news to tell you. Okay, I have some news to tell you. Emmy, I have to learn more English grammar. Good, well, you're doing it right now, so good for you. I have learned to drive with my father. Good, good, that's awesome. It's a good bonding activity. Abo, I have to go to the bookstore on the weekend, or this weekend. Hussam, I asked her to have dinner with me. Perfect sentence. Vladimir, I hope winter doesn't come. Okay, generally when we When we use I hope in a sentence, we use the present simple. I hope winter doesn't come. Good sentence, not the infinitive, but good. Okay, I'm going to leave the other verbs here, and you guys can add your own sentences to the document, okay? We are going to keep going. So let me go back to my Smrt, wonderful Smrt. And we're going to keep going a little bit because I want to make sure we don't run out of time. Gertie, yes, it's always tricky when you have a difficult keyboard, or if it's at a different language or something. Yeah, very tricky. All right, so here are some more examples. These are verb ones that we use with the infinitive, not with gerunds, okay? I promise to call you tonight. He doesn't expect to have enough time. She decided to stay home, and we hope to see you soon, okay? Hope, like I said, can be used with the present simple or commonly used with the infinitive as well, okay? Let's see here. Hello, Mohammed from Jordan. Hello, Manifi. Welcome, welcome. Khaled, I cannot expect anyone stingy to give any gifts. That's right. Good slang expression there. And just remember, like I said earlier, if the infinitive action is negative, not the main verb action, but the infinitive action, then we do not before. For example, I promise not to do that again. Or we decided not to go away this year. The dog must learn not to bite people. Emmy, hope is your first verb, and to see is the infinitive. Okay, it's not a gerund. Gerund is ing. Yeah. Okay, moving on here. So some verb ones. The meaning of promise means that you will do something because you promise to do it. It's like hard to explain promise right now. I don't know why. You say you will do something. If you say I promise, it's just a little more solid, you know, because many people, they want to keep their promise. They don't want to break their promise, okay? If you constantly break your promises, then your reputation will go down, I think, a little bit. Yeah. Maybe people will not find you reliable if you break your promises. Yeah. Yeah, it's a commitment. Exactly. Yeah, thank you, Seema. Commitment. That's a good word. All right. So, verb ones. Okay, yeah, keep your word. That's a good expression to mean follow through with your promises. Yeah. All right, verb one when we use ing, gerund, or verb one when we use infinitive, to in a base verb with no change in meaning. Some of the common verbs where this is the case are here. Okay, so begin, continue, hate, like, love, prefer, start. It doesn't matter which verb pattern that you use, the meaning will remain the same, okay? Yuri, yeah, you can say that. It's like if you say, I want to promise to do it, it's kind of like you know that you will have trouble keeping your promise, so you're not sure if you definitely want to promise. Yeah. For sure. Maybe people follow that up with a but. For example, I want to promise to do it, but I just don't know if I'll be able to. Yeah. Thank you, Lolly. I love your enthusiasm. It's awesome. So we'll look at these examples and we'll put more of our own on the document. Here on the left side, we see verb plus gerund, verb ing. On the right side, we see verb plus infinitive, so to in a base verb. and the meaning remains the same. For example, I don't really like cooking, or I don't really like to cook. Same meaning. Let's start organizing the party. Let's start to organize the party. Same meaning. She used to hate studying. She used to hate to study. Same meaning. They continued living together after the breakup. They continued to live together after the breakup. Same meaning. Okay? So let's go back to the document. And as you can see on the document, we've got the verbs, and we're going to think of sentences. There's really, I would not say there's a big difference in formality, Mohammed, with these sentences. When you're having the infinitive or the gerund come after the verb, no difference in formality, in my opinion. Yeah. So let's come up with some examples where we can do both forms. It doesn't matter. Viera, I will be waiting for you. Good. Yes. But we want to focus on these verbs here, okay, as our verb ones. For example, it started raining or to rain. Both possible. And we can add last night. Good, Aaron. I started learning or to learn English, 1 year ago. Good. Let's move to a new verb. Good, Maya. I love singing or to sing. That's awesome. Singing's fun. Just ignore this. Okay, what else do you guys love? Or what do you like? What do you prefer? What do you hate? Let's get to know you all a little better. I love snowboarding. I love to snowboard in the winter. Okay, don't worry about the blue. It's just because I'm doing it in the same sentence. Perfect. I prefer reading to read. When you're using prefer, we usually say what you prefer it over. For example, I prefer reading. I prefer to read novels over watching television, for example. Come up equals continue. Can you give me an example sentence, Khalid? So Emmy, I prefer watching horror movies. I prefer to watch horror movies. Good, good. Denny's, I continue going to the gym. Continue. Good, but you might not want you might want will. I will continue, or I am going to continue going. I'm going to continue to go or going to the gym. Viera, you said, I love learning, I love to learn English on a daily basis. That's good. I'm sure your English is improving greatly then. Menifi, what do you mean about the meaning being slightly different? Which example? Because the meaning is the same for all of these examples. Lolly, I hate to run. I hate to run. I'll just keep my same. I hate running. I hate to run. Me too. I agree. In the morning, I forgot that. In the morning, I hate to run ever, at any time. Vladimir, I hate using articles. I hate to use articles. Good sentence. Aaron, I prefer reading or to read science fiction. Nice. Prices in stocks continue declining or continue to decline. Yeah, we can even just say stock prices continue declining or to decline. Good. I'm seeing some great sentences here. Emmy, you can't hear me clearly. I'll raise my microphone. Is that better? I hope so. Emmy, tell me if it's better. My microphone maybe was going down too low. Hager, I hate eating meat. I hate to eat meat. Good. Prefer reading novels. Viera, we don't need to say novel books. We can just say novels. I prefer reading novels. Yeah. Michaeli, I continue thinking that we need more love in the world. I continue to think that we need more love in the world. I agree, yes. Gertie, I prefer to watch rom-com movies, or I prefer watching rom-com movies. It's not true, though. Okay, good sentences, though. Khaled, I want to know the meaning of come up. Well, there is a slang meaning of come up. When you improve your life in some way, you could say, oh, that's a come up, meaning an improvement. Maybe that's what you mean. I know you're good with some slang expressions, so perhaps that's the meaning in that case. A come up. A come up is an improvement in your life. Good. I prefer to eat pizza. I prefer eating pizza to cake. Yeah, nice. Me too. Okay. Well, yes, Manifi, definitely. Yeah. Slightly. But, I mean, the difference is one is a gerund, one is the infinitive. Yeah. Okay. Anupam, I continue to avoid reading your comments. Where is your first comment? I'm trying to keep up. Oh, here. She continues to care about me even after our breakup. I'm sorry I missed your example. It's a good one, though. I will put it on the list. She continues, don't forget your S. So it's caring or to care. Be careful there. About me even after our breakup. Good. Sorry to miss that the first time. Okay, let's see. Lots of good answers. I hate to bother my friends. I hate bothering my friends. Good. Okay. All right. I'm seeing some good examples. We're going to move on. It's a little bit easier to understand when there's no change in meaning, okay? But we're going to move on to when there is a change in meaning, okay? So we're going to cover 4 verbs where there is a change in meaning depending on the pattern that you use, okay? So the following verbs, they can be used in either pattern, but the 2 patterns have very different meanings, okay? So let's take a look. We're going to start with remember and forget, okay? When we use the verb forget with gerunds, we are saying that the action was done, but the person has no memory of doing it. So it's all about the memory, okay? Having the memory. For example, Jack forgets meeting me. Okay, we're using our verb in the present tense. This means that he has met me, but he has no memory of it. Okay, so the action was done, but you don't remember. Okay. Another example, I forget saying that we were going to meet today. But that means that you did, in fact, say this, you just have no memory of it. Okay. And just going over remember with gerunds, it's the same idea, but we are saying that an action was done, and in fact, we do have a good memory of the action, okay? So often when we are reminiscing, okay, we are looking back in our lives and thinking about memories that we have, okay? So for example, I remember going there when I was a child. So whether you're talking about a country or Disneyland or a restaurant, whatever it might be, that means that you went there when you were a child and you have a memory of it still, okay? It's very common to use the adverb clearly when you are really sure about your memory, okay? For example, I clearly remember turning off the lights, okay? So it's a strong and clear memory of doing that action, okay? When we use remember and forget with infinitive pattern, the meaning changes, because when we do this, we are saying why we did or didn't do an action, okay? So for example here, we're not using forget, we're using forgot in the past, and then the action, I forgot to bring my money. Oh no, I can't buy my coffee. So that means that you don't have your money because you forgot to bring it, okay? And if we're using remember with infinitive, our focus is not on having a memory, but our focus is on why something happened, because we remembered to do it, okay? So example here, she remembered to call him. She called him because she remembered to do it. Yeah. Okay, so we're going to come up with some more of our own examples. And Manifi, if you're not happy with my explanation, I'm sorry. I can't please everybody, so we're going to keep going here. Verb with gerund or verb with infinitive change in meaning. It's probably best if we think of our own examples. Yeah, you can use negative, Khaled, definitely. For example, she doesn't remember going to the gym. Okay, no memory there. Now, let's come up with our own examples. Remember and forget are what we're going to start with. As you can see in this table, remember with gerund is about the memory, okay? This is important information. It's about the memory, okay? So you did something and you're just talking about the memory, all right? Remember with infinitive, you did something and you're just saying why you did it because you remembered to do it, okay? Okay, so Raphael, in your sentence, it's hard for me to know, do you want to focus on the fact that you have the memory or the fact that you did it? Because I think you're probably wanting to use infinitive by saying, you know, for example, I finally remembered to do the shopping last Saturday. Okay, so we often use these type of sentences when maybe you continuously forget to do something and finally you remember to do it. So you're saying why you did it because you finally remembered to do it. Thank you, Manifi. It's challenging to know how people are reacting, but you know, can't please them all, but I enjoy doing this, so it's all good, all good. Let's see some more examples here. Hager, great. This is more a sentence about memory. That's really good. I remember visiting my grandmother's garden when I was young. No, that's a really good sentence because this is more about a memory, so it's good. That's perfect. Gertie, gerunds about the memories. Infinitive, you do something because you remembered to do it. Okay, so as it says here, about the memory, infinitive, about why you did something, okay? Because you remembered to do it. So usually it's about like, kind of like tasks, okay? For example, my mother, we often use finally, not always, it's just common. My mother finally remembered to make me a doctor's appointment, for example. Not like I couldn't do it myself, but example. Vera, that's a good sentence for memory. I remember playing football at the age of 16. That's good. This is more about the memory. I will always remember, we can often say, I will always remember spending summers at my family cottage. Okay, so as you can see, remember with gerund, it's about nice memories or even bad memories, sure, but it's about an action that was done and you're focusing on the memory, okay? Manifi, you remember watching my first class? It was cool then. That's good. That's good. Okay, let's go into forget, because I'm seeing some examples here. Rami, yeah, if you say I forgot calling you, that means you did call, but you forget calling. So maybe you called really late at night after a few drinks. I don't know. Or you did call, but you just don't remember. Sometimes people have bad memories, for sure. Jacqueline, I think your example should be more with infinitive because it's like a task. I remember to water the plants every day. Okay. I remember uttering a multiplication chart. Nice, Anupam. That probably helped a lot with your math skills. Am I missing anyone? Okay. Maya, I remember him coming to our place. Good, yeah, for sure. You can add the him in there. Erin, your girlfriend always forgets being rude to you. Unfortunately, unfortunate sentence, but good grammar, good grammar. M. Viera, I forgot grabbing the key at Julie's house. Okay, that means you did grab the key. If you didn't, you have to use infinitive. Okay. Raphael, I forgot paying the bills. That means you paid them. No, Vladimir, doesn't have a continuous meaning. No, it's about the action of playing football, but it's not about progression. No, no. Okay, so let's do more examples with forget, because we know that forget with gerund is about the lack of memory, okay? But the action was done. Okay, so where are your examples? Raphael, I forget. Because it's a memory, we're using the present tense, not the past. I forget paying the bills, but I did pay them. I forget paying the bills, but I did pay them. Okay. Let's see. Viera, maybe yours is better to do this one. I don't know if you did it or not, but I forgot to grab the keys at Julie's house. That means you don't have the keys. Let's see here. Ahmad, I forgot to bring some stuff home. That's good. As you can see, we're using the forgot past with the infinitive. I forgot to bring some stuff home. Good. Emmy, you forget eating your dinner? Wow, it must not have been memorable then. Maybe not a good dinner, hey? I forget eating my dinner. Or maybe you were very tired. after a hard day. I forget eating my dinner yesterday. Hager. Yes, Urage. Gerunds are used like a noun. Okay, they function as a noun in this case. Yes. Let's see. I forget. Ooh, spelling is bad. I forget telling you the bad news. Okay. In this, it's suggesting that I use infinitive because the meaning of the sentence, it's common to use with infinitive because usually people don't forget these kinds of things, right? They don't forget telling someone something. It's possible though, for sure. Aaron, that's a good one. Very common example. He forgot to pay me back. Yes. Rami, why use the present for, because with gerunds, we're talking about our present memory, that we don't have it, okay? So it's a present tense. With infinitive, though, we're focusing on a past, finished situation where something was not done because you forgot to do it in that past moment, okay? If you can make this present by making it a continuous thing, or sorry, a repetitive thing. For example, I always forget to water my plants, for example. Okay, now I'm talking about repetition. Oh, Gertie, same idea. I forgot to water my plants. Poor plants. Yes. Lolly, I forget locking the door, but I locked the door, thankfully. Yes. I always question myself if I locked the door, for sure. Presmac, I have always forgotten to do my homework, maybe. I think would be better in your case, but again, it's hard for me to know if you are focusing on the fact that you did an action or didn't do, okay? But I think these are good examples to start. Hager, good sentence. She forgot to take her sunblock. Okay, she forgot to take her sunblock. Yeah, she forgot to dress up. Dress it up. I don't know what it is, but if you're talking about her wearing nice clothing, that would be just she forgot to dress up. Okay. Raphael, I forget calling them, so I called again. Yeah, maybe and is okay, maybe so for result. I forget the first day meeting my friend. I forget the first day meeting my friend. It would be probably better to say I forget meeting my friend for the first time. We often say, I forget meeting my friend for the first time. Manifi, I forgot to read yours. No, let me go back up. I am not American, though. I am Canadian, born and raised Canadian. But I'm glad you like my accent. All right, let's continue, guys. We have 2 more verbs to go over, try and stop. And we have about 12 minutes, so it should be good. So when we use try with a gerund, our meaning is either to experiment with something, okay? Usually can be first-time experiences, or we can use it to talk about trying to solve a problem, a new remedy, trying to solve a problem, okay? So we'll look at some examples. In the past here, I tried snowboarding last week, okay? If you say that, the meaning is that it was like your first time that you tried this, okay? Or my friend tried skydiving last week. She loved it. Or I tried knitting, but it was too difficult for me. Something like that. Here, she doesn't want to try rollerblading. Negative. She doesn't want to try rollerblading because she's afraid. Okay, so not wanting to do something for the first time. Gertie, it's raining. I forgot to close my windows. My house will be a disaster. Yeah, that's a good sentence for sure. Here are some examples of trying to solve a problem. If you can't sleep, you should try drinking warm milk, trying to solve a problem of not sleeping. And here, if your house is very loud, hard to concentrate or something, you should try studying at the library. It's a great place to study. Okay. Okay, so try with an infinitive, that means we're making an effort to do something. And usually, not always, but very commonly, we follow it with but, because you make an effort, but it's not successful or something like that. Okay? So here are some examples. He never tries to speak English outside of school. There's no but here. This is just saying that someone never makes this effort. Okay? Here, I tried to tell you about the problem, comma, but you wouldn't listen. Or I tried to sleep last night, but I was too excited about the trip. Here's some, in my opinion, not great advice. Don't try to read English newspapers until you improve your English. Okay? Okay, so let's come up with our own examples with try in the table. And let me just delete this. Okay. So as we can see here, try with gerund is about first-time experiences or trying to solve a problem. Okay, trying to solve a problem is the other thing. Let's see here. Okay, Aaron, I tried reading Pride and Prejudice. Good. So did you finish reading it? If you didn't finish, maybe you would use the infinitive. For example, I tried to read Pride and Prejudice, but it was too long, or something like this. Gertie, that's a good sentence about making the effort. I tried, and in this case, we might say I tried to get good at skiing. Because it's not, if it's about one first time, we would probably say, I tried skiing a long time ago, but I didn't like it. In this case, if you gave up, the action is trying to get good at skiing. I tried to get good at skiing a long time ago, but I gave up. Okay, what else? Oh, well, thank you, Rami. That's a very nice compliment. My mother always told me to speak clearly, so I have to credit my mom for that, but thank you. Let's see here. Hussam, I tried speaking with a Canadian accent. Again, if this is about the effort, we want to make the infinitive. I tried to speak English. I tried to speak English with a Canadian accent. This keyboard is also hard to use. Okay, good, Aaron. So in your case, your focus is more on the effort. So I would use your example using the infinitive. I tried to read Pride and Prejudice. I tried to read Pride and Prejudice, comma, but I oh my gosh, this keyboard is so annoying. But I hardly understood half of the, we would say any of the sentences. If you're going to use half, we would probably use couldn't, but I couldn't understand half of the sentences. Okay, good. So something for the first time, Khaled. I tried riding horses this year. Not in this year, just this year. That's awesome. I love riding horses. Lolly, that's a good sentence. Keep trying, it will get better. I tried to understand English movies, but I failed. Okay, so good, Youssef. I tried to convince him, but in vain. Nice, good sentence. I tried making everyone happy and failed miserably. Okay, so a good, Anupam. It doesn't sound too bad to use the gerund in your case if you're focusing on solving a problem. But if you're focusing on the effort, we would say I tried to make everyone happy and failed miserably. Okay. I tried applying for a job, but I didn't succeed. Good. Yeah. In that case, yeah, you could use it if it's about solving like a financial problem. I tried applying for a job, but I didn't succeed. Okay, well, it always takes more than one try, right, with jobs for sure. Try to eat more healthy food has been trying to eat more healthy food is beneficial to our health. So that would be, yeah, you should have a subject first. People should try to eat more healthy food because it is beneficial to their health. Yeah. Manifi, you tried to visit Canada, but in vain? Oh no. What happened? Oh, Hager, there's a good one for first-time experiences. I tried dancing Zumba last week, and it was funny, we would say, and it was funny. Yeah, Zumba is awesome. Michaeli, good. I tried watching an English TV series without subs last year. That's good. That's awesome. Okay, so we don't have much more time, so we have to cover the last verb. One more is stop. Okay, so when we use stop with a gerund, our meaning is that the gerund action ends, finishes. Okay, look at some examples here. We stopped driving because we were tired. That means that this action ends. I stopped studying at 9 p.m. last night. That means this action ends. You should stop working and take some time off. This is an advice style of question. They want the working to end. Okay? If you use stop with infinitive, it's a much different meaning. That means that one action stops in order for the infinitive action to begin. For example, we stopped to take some photos. We don't always say what we stopped, okay? With other context in the conversation, it's obvious. For example, we stopped driving in order to take photos, okay? Or a suggestion, let's stop to take a break. Okay, so that means maybe studying. Let's stop studying to take a break. Okay, the actions in blue, they begin. I stopped to buy a water. So whatever the action is that you stopped, it could be working, it could be jogging, it could be walking, and this begins to buy a water. And let's see, Rami, I stopped smoking means you quit smoking. Exactly. I stopped to smoke. I was walking, then I stopped to smoke a cigarette. Exactly. I stopped smoking is quit. And you stopped to smoke means start smoking. I stopped reading this article because it is all fiction. Good, Menifee. You don't need though on the end because you're already using because to give a reason, okay? Youssef, truck drivers stop every 2 hours to take a nap. Great sentence. Aaron, I can't stop laughing when I watch that movie. Great sentence. Yes. You're using can't, so that's awesome. I stopped to walk, or okay, Lolly, you have to say I stopped walking to sip some coffee. Okay, so let's get some of your examples on the board here. I stopped. If you want to state the action, gerund, I stopped walking, and then infinitive, to sip my coffee. Okay. And I stopped playing on my phone when I crossed the street. That's good. Texting and walking, very dangerous. And new Pam, I stopped reading that novel to watch an English class. Good. I stopped reading maybe in my novel, because if we can't see it, if you can't point to it, we wouldn't use that. If you can't, or this, but if we can't see it, you can just use my. I stopped reading my novel to watch an English class. Good. Maya, that's good. They stopped talking. Exactly. And it could be the same. It could be they stopped to talk. Two different meanings, but both good. Yeah. Okay. I'm seeing maybe another example for stop with infinitive. I stopped reading this article because it is all fiction. That's a good corrections, Menifee. I stopped reading this article because it is all fiction. Perfect. Hello, Super Sayman. Welcome, but we're just wrapping up actually right now, just coming to the end, but you can always re-watch the video after if you desire. But another example here, we stop to look at the view. For example, driving. My friend stopped to take a picture. Okay. All right, you guys. Well, we are at the end of the class. So when it comes to these verbs, stop, try, forget, and remember, I hope it's clear that there is a change in meaning depending on the form that you use, okay? So all of the examples in the document, you can reread them, and you can add to the document if you make your own copy. But yeah, I hope you enjoyed it. And Rami, thank you. I'm glad you enjoyed it. Menifee, thank you. I'll see you next week then. You'll be here, right? My next class is 1 week from today, Tuesday, next Tuesday, 3 o'clock to 4 o'clock, Vancouver time. Hope you enjoyed it. Next week, we will still be talking about gerunds and infinitives a little bit longer. Last class with that. So hope you enjoyed and have a great week. Have a great weekend next weekend. Nice to see lots of familiar names in the chat. I feel like I am getting to know you guys virtually a little bit, so that's always nice. But yeah, I will share the document with you guys, but for now, I will sign off, and yeah, thank you again. See you next week.